So today we're going to talk about weight loss, and we're going to talk about weight loss in a way that a lot of people aren't used to talking about it. I'm Dr. Martin Rutherford. I am a chiropractic physician, and I am a certified functional medicine practitioner. This is
Dr. Randall Gates. I am a board-certified chiropractic neurologist as well as being a chiropractor.
And we practice here in Reno, Nevada. And we have melded our two disciplines to essentially be able to evaluate a person's physiology in total. Brain controls everything. Brain, nervous system controls everything. And the rest of the systems of the body, the immune system, the genitourinary system, your hormonal systems, all these systems, all can go wrong, or they can go wrong and affect the brain. Together, these two disciplines put together a paradigm where you can do about as comprehensive an evaluation of the human being as possible. And in doing so, we have kind of inadvertently or developed a chronic pain practice. And even more inadvertently, we've kind of developed a semi-weight loss aspect of the practice because at one point we realized that everybody who was coming in here for peripheral neuropathy, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, even dizziness, vertigo, balance, everybody was losing weight. And we do not use calorie restriction diets here. And everybody, maybe not everybody, but almost everybody would say, I've never been able to lose weight before. And so we started to understand that the same people who have these problems have weight loss problems. And the impetus for today and doing this subject at this time of the year, as Dr. Gates stated, we understand that there are a lot of people out there right now who are struggling. There are a lot of people out there who it's the holidays. It's the toughest time of the year for people who are trying to lose weight, and people who are trying to lose weight by the old paradigm of calories in, eat less calories and exercise more, and it is not working for them. This has got to be the most frustrating thing one can experience, because you're really trying hard, and this time of the year probably is more frustrating than any other time of the year, because now you have to avoid all of these wonderful tasting foods that if you just slip for a little bit is going to help you to put on weight, even though you're going to the gym 5 days a week and you've been cutting your calories for all that time. So we hope to shed some light on that for you over the next 30 or 40 or 50 minutes, whatever it takes. And I wrote an article a couple of years ago, just because I was up against a deadline, and I wrote an article on why you can't lose weight. And we're probably going to hit a few of those things today. My understanding is we might do a series of presentations on this over the next couple of weeks. And if you truly have tried to lose weight, if people come in here and they say, I've heard you help people lose weight. And my first question is, can you lose weight on your own? And if the answer is yes, then my reply to them is, well, go do it. Don't come here and waste your time and effort, because it's just a matter of you truly pulling up your bootstraps and all the stuff that the doctors tell you to do. But if you've done that and you've tried a lot of things and you cannot lose weight, this will be a good series of talks for you to watch, because we're pretty much going to hit over this in the next couple of presentations. Pretty much everything that's going to stop you from losing weight, no matter what you try to do. And I think that's probably
that's a good introduction.
Kind of sums up where we're going with this.
Yeah, and we're getting some comments from people saying, because we do a variety of these health topics, saying, well, you didn't tell me exactly what I could do to fix my fibromyalgia or to cure my neuropathy. And so what everybody out there needs to understand is that everybody's different. So we can't just say, oh, do this and your neuropathy is going to go away, or your fibromyalgia is going to go away, or you're going to lose weight, because it's not that simple. If it was, and that's why, there are scams out there where people are trying to sell you some herb for weight loss or some vitamin for neuropathy. I shouldn't say scam, but maybe
Entrepreneurial promotions.
There are entrepreneurial promotions, yes, to make a lot of money and to maybe marginally help the individual out there in the public with that condition. So we're trying to give you the information so that you can better evaluate your situation relative to the current literature. By that we mean the current scientific studies. These are things you can go to your doctor and talk to them about. Say, hey, you know, I can't lose weight. You've been saying, you know, cut down the calories. I've done that. It's not working. What do you think about this? What do you think about thyroid? What do you think about this bacterial issue in the gut? And see what they say. And see if they say, you know, I don't know, or I know, and let's check it out.
And just to go back for one slight minute to those folks that say, we haven't told you exactly how to do it. We can't. That's why, I mean, they're so complex that when I do speaking, I've done a lot of seminars, public seminars, and I generally start off by saying a couple of our mantras are treat the patient and not the diagnosis. And what that means is your diagnosis might be fibromyalgia, your diagnosis might be peripheral neuropathy, or your diagnosis might be obesity. And we could have 50 obesity patients in here, but the key to unlock the secret door to weight loss for one person might be different for another person, and it might be different for each one of those 50 people. And it's the same thing with fibromyalgia. It's just a term. Obesity is a term. But if you're in that category where you're a fibromyalgia patient and you haven't been able to get it to go away, or you have obesity and you've tried everything and it won't go away, it's because there's a complex set of biochemical processes that are being interfered with, and you can't know which one and what it is for that particular person until you have done a very thorough history and a very thorough exam, and then determine what testing is needed off of that exam and history, and then get that testing, and now you have a complete picture, almost a complete picture. Even beyond that, there's a little bit more work to be done relative to figuring out exactly for that person. So it's not like we're trying to hold back on anybody. In fact, what we're trying to do is give you a lot of free data, if you will, so that you can explore on your own, try to find somebody on your own area. If you can't, we're here. But go ahead. So calories.
Go ahead. Do you feel we've adequately addressed why are we doing this video?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do you?
I do too.
Okay. If not, go right ahead. But yeah, we're doing it because a lot of people come in and they've tried and nothing they can do is they can't lose weight.
And then they get
frustrated.
And then that's why the New Year's resolutions don't work.
And they give up. Okay. And fair enough. That is exactly what happens.
Because it's discouraging. I mean, when you're eating 1,000 calories a day, maybe you're only having 3 bowls of Cheerios a day. I used to do that.
And then they have their husbands and their friends going, you just need to, come on, you just need to eat less.
Oh, you had a piece of fudge last Saturday. That's why you can't lose weight. Yeah, exactly. So do calories in equal calories out? That is the question.
Well,
and really, we used to think, okay, dieting, you just reduce the calories, because when you consume a certain number of calories, let's say 1,500 calories a day, then those calories will get converted in your body to fat because you can't burn up that much energy. Your metabolism is at whatever point. Some athletes, they're training 8 hours a day, they can eat 5,000 calories a day and they won't gain weight because their metabolism is so fast. However, that whole phenomena is showing not to be completely accurate, and actually it's showing to be more inaccurate for the person out there who can't lose weight in today's 2014 society. And this is now spanning industrialized nations and non-industrialized nations. And we're seeing that lots of times when people go on a low-calorie diet, you have to look at what they're eating. And we were just reading a post by a cardiologist, and he was talking about how for many years it was put out to the public that fats were bad, and so you need to consume more carbohydrates, and less times.
I still have a hard time getting my wife not to focus on buying me low-fat things. It's like so ingrained.
Right. And so because of that, a lot of people tend to eat more high-starchy foods, high-carbohydrate foods. And one thing that's interesting with doing that is that a lot of people out there who can't lose weight are insulin resistant. We have this huge epidemic of, obesity. 1/3 of the population, another 1/3 is overweight. Many of that 2/3 bracket of the population have something called metabolic syndrome, where when they eat carbohydrates, they tend to make more insulin than they should. Insulin gets sugar from your food into the cells of your body. They tend to have, a big belly. They tend to have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things of that nature. So if you're just consuming those carbohydrates, even if you're consuming 1,000 calories a day, you have a tendency to already make too much insulin. And so when you eat carbs, you're going to make more insulin. And insulin is anabolic. Insulin grows tissue.
Right.
And so you're just in this proverbial state of growing tissue, whereas if you want to lose weight, you have to get into something called the catabolic or the fasting state, where you need your body to start burning what you have. But if you have insulin going, trust me, insulin will trump that other side of the physiologic coin. So if you have insulin that's high in your system, you won't be able to lose weight.
And what I find when I'm doing the entry interviews into our facility is that a lot of people have this and don't know it. I'll discuss. I'll be sitting there observing the patient while I'm talking to them. There are a lot of external signs that a person has: pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, syndrome X, metabolic syndrome, whatever you want to call it. But I like to call it pre-diabetes because people kind of get that. People kind of get, I'm not diabetic yet, but there's something where I'm on my way. But a lot of doctors will say your blood sugar is okay when they look at the blood test. Even if your numbers are 120 to 126, which a lot of doctors consider that normal. 126 and over 3 times is considered diabetes. And so it's personal doctor preference. A lot of doctors say, oh, you're okay. We don't have to treat you now. Or, well, they might say, well, you're getting there, but let's just wait and see what happens. Some doctors will today, more than you used to, treat it, maybe give you metformin or one of the other insulin regulators. So the bottom line I'm trying to say here is a lot of people come in and don't realize that they have blood sugar problems, and it's not getting treated. And our understanding of it, observation of it through clinical experiences, if your blood sugar is over 100, in fact, I think they should just change the whole thing. Just instead of, okay, we're going to wait until you get to diabetes type 2 and treat you. If your blood sugar is over 100 consistently, your glucose marker, you should be listening to this and doing what we're going to tell you to do, because you do have this mechanism that Dr. Gates is talking about, that if it's not leading to weight gain now, it will be.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, and you raise a great point there. And lots of times the other markers for metabolic syndrome or prediabetes or insulin resistance are not run. And so people will come in, they'll say, well, my doctor didn't say anything about prediabetes. Well, it's not just standard in the typical workup for an annual physical and things of that nature. So,
and this is a big contributor to people who can't lose weight.
Yes. So we have
Another
many
big contributor.
Well, we have many topics here, and we're going to go through these week by week because we didn't want to just try and hit, each one for 3 minutes. There are genetics that are involved with inability to lose weight. There's something called leptin resistance. I'm sure many of you have heard about it by now. It's been talked about on Oprah and a number of shows like Dr. Oz, where as you gain body weight, your fat cells produce something called leptin, which tells your brain to stop eating. But they're now seeing, just like there can be insulin resistance, where when you keep eating the donuts, or high carbohydrate meals, we'll say it that way, and you make more and more insulin, through time, your body becomes resistant to the insulin. Same thing happens with leptin. And so basically the body becomes less responsive to leptin in the system. And so we have a tendency to gorge ourselves. It's interesting, personally, since I've changed my diet in this last year, at Thanksgiving this year, I had one small plate and I was full. I thought back, I used to have like 3 plates, and then I'd have to lay down on the couch for 3 hours, incapacitated, that whole number. I'm sure many of you have had that experience. So that's part of the leptin phenomenon. So you just keep eating and eating and eating. There are behaviors, there are personality traits. And one thing relative to my focus with neurology is that we have some patients where they can't stop eating what they shouldn't be. And sometimes they need neurotransmitter support. Sometimes they need brain exercises. Sometimes they need referral for medications. One of the things that Dr. Amen's doing, Dr. Amen has partnered with Dr. Oz, in that when he looks at patients who can't lose weight, he has a whole series of questionnaires, and he may give them a medication. And we work with doctors where we may refer a patient for a similar
medications
or similar consideration. Yes, because some patients who are depressed, as an example, just don't have the frontal lobe power to not reach for something that they shouldn't be eating. Insulin, we already went into that. Thyroid issues, we're going to do a whole topic on that. Thyroid and inability to lose weight.
When people come in for weight loss, it's part of our, again, we let people know that if you only come in here if you can't lose weight, you have really, really tried and you can't lose. And usually I'll be listening for thyroid. Thyroid is probably the most poorly diagnosed and most mismanaged condition maybe in our society. Thyroid, blood sugar, which we just talked about, adrenals that are known as stress, and gut problems, which I see we're going to talk about at some point now or in the future. And in those four areas are lurking different types of conditions and problems that if they occur, you are not losing weight. Like no matter what happens, no matter what you do. I've had two women that come to mind specifically as one who was riding her bike 20 miles a day and eating 1,800 calories a day for a year and lost 4 pounds. And another one who just currently started, and she's been working out 5 days a week, an hour and a half each day, and similarly is eating like 1,500 calories and just couldn't lose any weight. So somewhere within that thyroid, blood sugar, adrenal, gut paradigm is their problem. And there are some other things that we're going to talk about, but really they all kind of fit in there. Dr. Gates is going to talk about genetics and different types of personality types, but there are answers. Bottom line is there are answers. And for those who are going to say, well, you're not telling me what they are. If we gave you all of the data right now, all the data we're going to give you, trying to figure it out on your own and figure out the right combination, in my mind, and we're in Reno, Nevada here, you probably got a better chance of hitting the lottery, because with our tools and with our understanding, with our experience of walking people through these programs, it's almost tedious as you have to walk one step at a time and determine each different aspect of what is affecting their physiology. And then boom, it pops out. It's this one for that patient. It's these two for that patient. It's this 3 for that patient. And so that's one of the reasons that we can't tell you. We can't say, this is what you do, or we would, because we're not, we're not, I don't think we're selling anything here. We're just trying to make you aware of questions they ask your doctors and just trying to alleviate a big stress out there. And it is a big, big stress. And not forget the physiology of it. This is just a big emotional, depressing stress. I get that it causes diabetes. I get that it affects your joints, everything. I get it. But really, when I sit there and do the interviews with patients, it's more that emotion and the tears and stuff.
Oh, completely. It's I don't know if it's sad or if it's funny when I'm working with patients and we have some just fantastic results here, and we properly select our patients. That's why we can say, it doesn't necessarily work for everyone. But their neuropathy will be better, their fibromyalgia will be better, they have more energy, but the weight loss, they've only lost 25 pounds and they want to lose 40. Yeah. And that's the issue, because so much of our society is based on appearance, physique. We're judged, we judge ourselves. We have all of these quote unquote perfect people in the media and in Hollywood that seemingly we're forced to compare ourselves to. And so that's why I think it's such an emotional issue. And it seems to be harder for our female patients than for our male patients.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we kind of put this together in a very short period of time as to Dr. Gates put this together in a very short period of time as to how we're going to go about these things. And so we've gone over insulin resistance, and you have a number of topics that are listed here in front of us. Do you want to go over all of those?
No, so we're going to do individual broadcasts on each of those.
So today is or was insulin, or are we going to go
Today is more the introduction. Today is just setting the stage for why our patients cannot lose
So weight loss beyond the calories, part 1, introduction.
Exactly. And it's really just to put the calorie issue out there, because so many of you, I mean, there's going to be a gazillion commercials coming out in about 2 weeks for weight loss, for this new fitness device, for Body by Jake. I'm not criticizing any of them. Having now lived for 33 years, I've seen a number of these fitness devices come out. I've seen my family buy them, the Nordic Track, the Gazelle, the fitness trainer, all these different things. We want you to be better informed as you go into the new year. And so it starts with the calories. It starts with understanding calories.
There you go. Those things are going to work for a certain percentage. I wrote a book called Power Health, Back to Basics, about 15 years ago, I think it was. And in there, I talked about calories in, calories out, exercise, so on and so forth. I did kind of say if you eat something and it seems to affect you negatively, don't do it. And the book, in large, still has a lot of really good data in it. But I think I'm getting ready to re-edit it and say, now, if you've tried all of this and you're not better, or you've lost weight, here's why. And here's why is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about blood sugar. We're going to be talking about thyroid. We're going to be talking about hormones. Everybody comes in here, it's all hormones. I'm not quite sure which hormones Dr. Gates is referring to. If he's referring to stress hormones, they're going to be things that are going to be negatively adding to your weight loss. If we're going to be talking about female hormones and male hormones, we'll talk about them secondary to other things that are actually creating those imbalances. We're not huge on hormone replacement therapy here, except in specific case conditions. And so we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the leptin that Dr. Gates was talking about, genetics. We haven't been genetically short-circuited yet, have we, on any of these cases?
Not on weight loss, no.
Not on weight loss, right. And several SIBO, we're going to be talking about small intestinal bacteria. This goes to the part where I was indicating that we look at thyroid, blood sugar, adrenals, and gut. And gut is a lot of things. We're probably more talking small intestines than the whole gut. The whole gut is like everything, your liver, your pancreas. We'll be talking about small intestinal bacteria. We'll probably be talking about leaky gut and
we're going to hit all of that and how the bacterial makeup in the gut negatively can affect weight loss. So in essence, much of the insulin problems, we've discussed this in previous broadcasts, but we're going to really try and tie it together, how the foods you eat, independent of the calories, can have a dramatic impact on the bacteria, and that those bacteria in your gut can have a profound impact on the amount of insulin you're producing. So one of the main reasons why we have found patients lose weight with our programs that we've created a diet that starves the bad bacteria. We have procedures to go in and eliminate the bad bacteria. And with that, we see insulin resistance improve, correlating with weight loss.
Yeah, so they are. And so are we going to do insulin resistance more specifically next time?
So we're going to do each one of these individually.
Okay, because one of the things there was, are we going to do insulin resistance next time? Are we doing it now? We'll do it next time?
Yes, we're going to do it in one of our next podcasts.
Okay, because I was going to go into several other reasons why people will have diabetes type 2. They'll take the medications, it won't work. And they obviously they can't lose weight at that point in time. Mm-hmm. I will hold off on that. Yeah. So, so introduction. Mm-hmm. This is why we're doing it. We've written articles on it in the past. We have presentations online, mm-hmm. kind of in toto, if you will, on weight loss. But I think this will be our most definitive amount of data, where we can give you the most amount of data regarding each individual saboteur. Everything is going to sabotage you from losing weight over the next couple of weeks.
Exactly. That is it. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, shoot them to us on powerhealthtalk.com. We also put an article up to Facebook. You can check that regarding what we're talking about today. And we'll put these articles up in conjunction with what we're going to be discussing in the coming weeks. Okay. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. See you next week.